So, hello everybody. ConvertWithMoss 11.5 is out and it brings support for the whole range of Waldorf synthesizers, so the Quantum series as well as the Iridium series, including the little core model I have here. And you can bring now your samples from different other sources into this nice little machine. And I made already several months ago 2 videos about this device, how much of a synthesis powerhouse this is. So watch them also if you did not see them. I will link them down in the description of the video. But this time we will have a look how you can bring in sounds. And I already played one sound, a very old sample of mine, which I did from the Roland XV5080, the good old guitar sound, and add a little bit of reverb to it here and chorus. And I think it still sounds great. But first, let's have a look at ConvertWithMoss here in version 11.5. And you see here we have here the Waldorf Quantum Iridium support as a source as well as a destination. But I think destination makes more sense. But nevertheless, you don't have to be afraid to be locked in here with this device. You can still get out your samples as well from the synth. So what options do we have here? You can add the usual things here to the WAV files. You can store the sample and instrument information as well, which are not relevant with that device, but nevertheless, you can do that. And there is basically one important option. The device can read all kinds of frequencies and supports them, but it's performing best with 44.1 kilohertz sample frequency and a 16-bit resolution, because with that one, it doesn't have to do any conversions. So let's do that. I pick here my good old choir samples, which I have here in contact format, which I sampled from different devices of my old synths. And let's do the conversion process. Simply say convert and we get some output here. We don't need all, just some of them. And let's check out what we have here in the output folder. And you will see that it creates a certain structure. So the QPAT is a patch data file here, which we will have. And the samples contains all the samples with, again, the file name and then the WAV files in them. And you should not make any change to the folder names because they are hard encoded here in the files, and otherwise it will not be found. Also, if you copy them now to the USB stick, they should also be in a root folder, or otherwise you will also have maybe problems. I did not test that, so it might work as well in a subfolder. But to be safe, you should copy these to the root folder. So, and I did do that. So we have them here now on a stick. So I insert here the USB stick and we can go to load. And then from the load dialog, here there is the action menu up here. And here you see the option to import your new sounds. So let's do that. And for example, this is one of these choir patches I converted. It took me so long to release it finally after 5 months because there were some issues. And one issue is that currently there is a map. So the sample map you have in there inside of this QPAD, it does not read the panorama information. So I cannot fully fix that, but at least if you have split stereo files, which means you have a mono file for the left channel and one mono file for the right channel, they will be automatically combined into a stereo sample file, which is then also included. So this gets fixed. But if you have maybe source material which have only a slide panning to the left or right, this will currently not translate over and you will maybe get a mono signal. The other thing is a bit tricky that it can find its samples. So I'm also not sure if it works from the SD card, if it will find the samples. It's a bit picky about that. And I did sadly not get yet a final answer how that works from Waldorf. And currently it works exactly like that. Copy it to the root folder as I did here and do it via the USB stick. Then it definitely works fine. Or otherwise it might be that it not triggers the copying process, that it copies the samples to the internal memory. So let's finally import here the choir patch, and to do so you need to press the import button, not only press the confirmation here, the press, because I always do that wrong because it's not working then. And again, import, you need to press the import button here, and here we do that. And then this is danger zone. You need to be absolutely sure that you select the correct slot. So already 6000 contains something. So we need to go to 6001, press return here. And then we can say we want to import the data. And this worked fine. So here we have the choir sound now. And they might be a bit too soft, so you can easily fix that if you go here to the master, and there you can increase the gain here for the oscillator. And then you have a nice output level as well. And as you hear, also the envelopes got nicely translated, so we have a nice release here on the vocals as well. And what you also might have noticed, if you go back here to the load dialog, you see also, yeah, sure, the name translates over, but also the author got picked up, which is my name here. And you also got pick up the category. So it's detected here as a vocal category, which you can then use here to filter here for vocal. So somewhere here it's vocal. And then you can also use that for filtering. So also this translates over nicely. And then you can start to tweak the sound. For example, if you want a bit of reverb to it, you can easily do that. So really easy to bring in your own sample sounds into the device. Also something worth mentioning, if you want to get rid of sounds, that's a bit more tricky than importing them, because if you delete the patch, it will not delete the samples, because they might be used by other presets as well, so they stay in the memory. And if you do experiment with importing sounds, it might pollute your internal memory. And to get rid of them is, as I said, a bit tricky. So again, let's go here to the load dialog. I can now load here the choir sound with the delete button. This will only delete the preset. But to delete also the samples, you need to go here to global. And in the global view, you can go to audio, and there you can say load. And there you end up here in sample management. So it's not only for loading, you can also create new directories, delete samples, rename them, move them, play them, and so on. And here you could go now to the samples folder, and here you see the choir left and right, and you can say now delete, and then this will delete the whole folder with the samples of this choir sound. But again, this is danger zone. Be sure not to delete your factory samples or other things you absolutely need. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you like it, dig it, enjoy it, and tell me what you think about it. Is this useful to you? Do you like the Iridium and the Quantum or not? What do you use it for? And so on. I like to hear from you down in the comments. And until next time, make some funky music.